weakness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah,
All right, here we go. Dover Motor Speedway as we get you ready for race number 4 tonight of this All-American Cup Series, the Gen 4 Series. As we are actually on track right now. A little bit of a late start here tonight, so I apologize for that. And per usual, I actually had the sound all off for those who are watching on the stream, but thank you for paying attention at least. Qualifying is, of course, going on right now, and that is presented by Mike Husby Designs, MHD. But cars out there running their 2 laps of qualifying right now. We'll just kind of let this kind of go because, just running a little behind here, trying to get some things caught up. And the great news is Casey Carrington, of all people, has helped me fix my wheel. And it was a simple go look and see if it's plugged in jack hole. That's me censoring myself. But either way, we're here, ready to rock tonight. Hopefully you can hear me talking and so on and so forth. You're not going to hear the cars right now just because I'm talking. As Christopher Heller, 2280 right now on the pole in this race. We'll see if that changes. Carrington with a 94. Delph with a 90. Good lap on his part. But we get ready for 200 laps tonight here in the Delaware 200 from the first state here of Dover. I am the captain. A lot of great racing here to go as Casey. I think that's actually another Mopar car. A lot of those here tonight. Lewis jumping up to 8th. The 81 at Terrell up to 6th. Mark Whitley up to 3rd right now. Noah Nicholson, that is him in the 98 car right there, by the way. That Dodge Mopar Casey Kane paint scheme from the 04 Charlotte race. But apologies for the late start. We're here ready to rock and roll and going to have a good night of Friday night ARCA racing. I said ARCA. There's $1 in the jar. Gen 4 racing. I don't know where that dollar is going to go eventually, but it's going to go somewhere. But Christopher Heller right now in the MHD Pole Award winner. And he hold off these other drivers that are still yet to qualify. Let's check out some other drivers. How about hi-ho, James Silvers making an appearance here. The Jack Daniels car. And that Chevy goes P2, 2287. Good lap for him. Corolla Steel out on track, the 01 car. Cody McCorkle, Kyle Ethier, Stephen Miles. Here's a weapon right here to watch. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Stephen in the Marion Chrysler car, we'll call it. And you see down there, he's in the yellow right now. As Miles is 8th fastest. Can he go faster? Running right down on that line. And, oh, is he going to go Jimmy Johnson? Oh, no, Jimmy he hit the wall. Jimmy didn't. That was, the beginning of that was shades of the Jimmy Johnson wreck. Oh, yeah, you're always going to be able to watch this race, Patty. Trust me, it'll... Right now, I will be here all season long, and especially with, you know what, I didn't get a chance to make the announcement, so I'll make it tonight during the race. I don't want to kind of spoil what's going on right now, but with what's coming in the near future, there will be no reason for me to not be at a race anymore. Put it like that. So, definitely got some big news for you guys coming soon. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys showing up here. So, qualifying is over. So, Christopher Heller going to be on the pole here tonight. Congratulations to him. We'll talk to him here in a second. But as I get caught up with things here in the 5-minute warm-up session, I will try to get a second to get on track and show you guys how pit road here at this place and how tricky it can be, because that is going to be the hot spot here this evening for this race. But right now, let's get you to point standings as we get into round number 4 here tonight. Of course, last week we were off as Zach Henry leads right now by 3 over Casey Carrington. Mike Hamlin there in third. Is he here tonight? I did not see Hamlin's name. So I don't think Mike Hamlin's here. So I don't have to check the reports and stuff. I haven't had a chance to look at the pre-race reports and stuff to see if he'll get a provisional. Matthew Weeks there fourth. Mark Whitley, your top 5. And Kyle Ethier, Leslie Law, the Daytona winner there in 7th. J.W. Miller, Stephen Miles, Chris Lewis, your top 10 there in the points as we enter here tonight. In the team points, iRacing leading by 5 over 25-11. Spirited Daytona Racing there in 3rd. CX Squared 4th as Brantley Roden joins us. And TMJ there top 5 right now. I do not have the rookie points or the manufactured points copied and pasted, so I'm just going to be reading that out loud here to you guys so you can hear Zach. Never mind. That's because at that time, Brantley, he could not hear me. That's because everything was muted at that moment. So, let's scroll up here to the points as I go into the notes real quickly here. They always send me notes for the broadcast, which is awesome. And actually, I have a snapshot of the season points, too. Yeah, no, Zach, appreciate that. Stefanowski, by the way. I know how to pronounce your last name. I kind of have broadcast practice. That's what lets me do that. Just kind of phonetically say things. All right, Rookie of the Year points right now. It is Mike Hamlin leading by 1 over Kyle Ethier. J.W. Miller is 3rd. I am low? That's not good. Because I'm talking like regular. Maybe it's because I'm not talking directly into my microphone. That could be it. I'm in the yellow, though, on my screen. Leslie Law 4th and Chris Lewis 5th right now in the Rookie of the Year points. That's your top 5 there. Manufactured points, Chevrolet leads by 1 over Dodge. It's like the stream is low. That's not good. Might want to check your volume there, Brantley. Is everybody else hearing me good, or is it... let me make sure everybody else hears well, too. Pontiac down by 9 over under Chevrolet right now. Toyota at 10 and then Ford at 6. But I do appreciate you guys telling me this. Like, the one thing people don't do is tell me when there's an issue, and I'm like, wait, what? All right, so let's go on track here. We're all crazy, my guy. Let me calibrate, because I literally just got my wheel up and working again because I found out it was unplugged, of all things. So thankfully I'll be able to race tonight in my other league that I'm actually in the playoffs for. Let me calibrate the old wheel real quickly for those who don't know this. All right, so what I'm going to do here during our little run on the track is we're going to go talk about pit road once again, because Dover, of all places, might be the top 2 toughest pit roads to get on, along with Darlington. Darlington is right there with it, and I'll let you guys debate which one's tougher. Dover in this car, and this is interesting, because again, I have not driven this car an awful lot. So, me going on pit road here in a second is going to be an adventure. So, let's go out here. We're going to run a complete lap. Good, my audio's working. I was wondering if my audio would come out of the speakers. Don't mind my frame rate and stuff. It's some reasons on the screen. Nobody can see me, by the way, so I can go right out on track if I wanted to. So, obviously, a lot of horsepower in this car. You're going to get out here on track. Very tricky, because you got a banking here. This is 9 degrees of banking. 9 degrees of banking is taller than New Hampshire, believe it or not. So, New Hampshire has less banking than the straightaways at Dover. The corners of Dover are 24 degrees, which is the same as Charlotte and stuff. But a gear screaming, that's interesting. So go down 1 and 2 here. I'm going to do a whole entire lap here just to kind of get a feel of it. So you're not going to be full throttle until about there. Now, the way they used to run it, you go down here, There's a lot of gear in this car. Holy cow. I think that's been changed for the actual setup in the race. All right, so pitting this time. You want to be on the microphone like now. Pitting this time, pitting this time, pitting this time. Because at Dover, you do not want to be pitting in the middle of the corner. You want to be pitting now. Just like whoever this car is. Like, I'm slowing down, because 30 mile an hour is the speed limit. Look at that car checks up. There's the yellow cone. I still got to get to 35 mile an hour. So I probably checked up early. But look how much time I had to back off. And these guys are going to be on older tires later making that stop. So they're really going to have to back off to get into the pit stall. So, and as I mentioned, 35 mile an hour. I can't even maintain it in this car. Yeah, somebody's cutting donuts on pit road. That's kind of funny. And then obviously you got to find your pit stall. Like, I have a spotter that tells me where my pit stall is. So, and that kind of thing. So this is pretty daggum tough. On older tires, like I said, it's a debate. Dover and Darlington, two toughest by far. So there you go. Made it into my pit stall. So that's part of it here as we get ready to go racing. So I'll show you more, though, here as we talk during the race. But that was, I mean, I was being conservative because I'd not driven this car much, and I still barely made it on the pit road. All right, so let's get the stream back up here. As the cars are on pit road, let me shrink up the UI. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the race. As Christopher Heller wins the pole here tonight, 22.805. That is a pretty good lap. I'll have to check and see track record-wise where that stands against the Cup Series. Matthew Weeks on the outside there in that Mountain Dew car. James Silvers, good run for his first start of the season alongside Brad Delph. Mark Whitley and Casey Carrington there in row number 3. Row 4, Noah Nicholson and Tim Averill. Row 5, Tyler Burden and Stephen Miles. Craig Martin, Jordan Owens in row number 6. Row 7, Nick Terrell, Chris Lewis. Row 8, Terry Freer and Jackson Van Pelt. Brandon Barkuski, Justin Ray there in row 9. Row 10, Kyle Hall and Carson George. Sean Cassidy, J.W. Miller there in row 11. Row 12, Jonathan Smith and Dalton Wilson. Jonathan Smith and Dalton Wilson, I already mentioned. Nick Leo, Cody McCorkle. Thomas Stanley, Kyle Ethier, Matt Schlosser, and Carolus Thiel in row number 15. And Jacob Locklear there, the 31st starter in the race. And I believe we will have a second lap here before we get the green flag. Race information tonight, 200 laps, 200 miles on this 1 mile track. 88-degree track temp. 68% humidity, partly cloudy skies. So, and pace car still out there. So yeah, we will get one more lap before we get the green flag. And let's get our pole sitter really quickly here, and I can have a talk with him. And that would be Mr. Heller there as they're done talking in chat now. Chris, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Coming to 1 to green, so I'll make it short and sweet. Getting the pole here tonight at Dover. But in this car, tire wear is going to be a problem.
I would have to agree with you.
Well, talk about your strategy, man. How are we going to survive here? Because obviously we don't want tire failures.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect us to have a tire failure, but I definitely expect tire wear to be a big thing in this race.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, good job winning the pole. Let's get that luck turned around, and let's get you back to victory lane here tonight as Mom's watching.
Yep.
All right, Christopher Eller there on the pole. Appreciate his time in that Ghost car. We'll get him to his 2511 channel there with Barkuski as they come to the green flag. And always remember our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. It is Friday night, the first Friday of September, technically, week-wise. NFL returned last night. College football week 2 this week. And week 4 of the All-American Cup Series from Dover. Everybody clean through lap 1. A lot of cars got loose, though. Heller leads it. Weeks, Whitley, they're up to third. Battle right here with Delph. That Snap Fitness number 14 and 98 and Nicholson there. The 17 of Hi Ho, James Silvers. Long John Silvers, whatever you want to call him. You're going to watch this track rubber up. Literally what it will do. This concrete, very tricky. Of course, this track's been concrete since 1995. It is actually the oldest surface, if you don't count North Wilkesboro, in all of Cup racing. And that is because it is concrete and it's been laid down since 1995. The reason why it is concrete, believe it or not, is because the cars carry so much speed and torque through the corners at this track. When it was asphalt, it would actually tear the track up, which is kind of the reason why if you go look at Martinsville, if you look at Bristol, tracks like that, it's concrete and not asphalt. So Silver's falling back to 5th. Now you see Carrington in the 9 up there top side and the 14 at Delph. Battle for position. This track's all about rhythm and saving tires. And they're almost doing the tandem racing at Daytona here. Switching spots in each corner. Chris Lewis there behind him. There's Jordan Owens in the 20. Tyler Burton in that 36 car, that red and black. Trying to see if that's like a blue sponsor or something on his car there. Can't tell what it is, obviously. Well, you're almost going to lose 2 laps already if you come to pit road the first try. So yeah, if you miss it and have to come back a second try, yeah, good luck. So, I mean, you're running laps around here 22, 23 seconds, and you're going 35 mile an hour down pit road. I mean, it feels like you're literally crawling. There's a little defensive move there by Lewis, it looks like, on the 25 of Barkuski. There's Heller out front. Got about 4/10 of a second on Weeks. Whitley there in 3rd. Nicholson up to 4th. Having a good run here so far. As you see Burden back there making the move. Jordan Owens there with him. And there's the Lucky Charms of Jackson Van Pelt. What a mix here. We got cereal versus chips. Race fan, who was your driver in the Busch North Series? That was a pretty popular series, especially up in this area. You know, running Dover and New Hampshire of all places. That's obviously where the Truex families come from, the Busch North Series. Jeff Fuller, another name to think about. Also the, oh gosh, there's a couple others, one slipped my mind. Look here, as Tim Abreu making a move underneath. Stephen Miles going to bring Burden there with him. Miles giving him a little bit of space here because that car on the bottom can easily slide up a little bit and cause trouble. We ride with the PTP number 3. definitely hear you could hear the difference if you were listening on board my car when I was out there running laps, and then you hear April's car. Oh, it sounds way different. And basically what Casey did is he went in there and made sure the gears were proper. I mean, obviously, you should not be pegging 95 to a 10,000 down a straightaway at Dover, especially as these tires wear out. There's Terry Frere in the 46 car. Got the Morgan Shepherd Racing with Jesus sponsorship there on the front. Trying to see what else is on that car. Kind of get like this Looney Tunes Hendrick Motorsports feel out of that car. With the... Did he just hit the wall? You better not be watching the stream, Terry. Rule number 1 that I always give suggestions to: never watch the stream when racing. There's Kyle Hall there behind him, the 87 car. Jonathan Smith, the 72 behind them, with Sean Cassidy also. So 85% fuel in this race. Oh, trouble! Back straightaway. Kyle Hall in the wall, the 97 involved. Nick Leo looks like is okay. I see Dalton Wilson involved. Looks like Corolla Steel maybe with some damage. And Jacob Locklear there in that 97. All torn up as he tries to keep the car going. And the first caution going to wave here at lap 19. And as per usual here at Dover, when a wreck happens, a wreck happens. See where this all starts out. Cars getting all sideways and stuff here. I looked up and I saw cars. Oh, right there. 72 gets into the back of the 87. And then more action behind it. So we had 2 wrecks happen at one time. So the 72 of Jonathan Smith, it looks like, got into the back of Kyle Hall here. Let's watch Kyle. As here he's in 1 and 2, and you're going to see the 72, the Harpoon design car, just get into him, and then that Georgia Tech car unfortunately punts him, and then you're going to see these others come into play. See if I can get you a better look at this. There we go. So you're going to see, bam, there's the first accident, and there you see the 49. Then you're going to see the other pack come in here. And there they are wrecking. Let's see if I can get us a view of the second wreck. The first wreck's happening. Oh, and Locklear just gets into the back of the 01, and Dalton gets into the 97. Obviously, you can argue ARCA braking here, but let me show you something here real quickly. For those who have never raced at this track or been on this track, you will hardly ever hear me accuse somebody of ARCA braking on a track like this unless you just never lift. And what I mean by that is, watch this. Unless you have communication, which I can't hear it right now, if there is. There's the wreck up ahead. So Jacob's slowing up. And then when other cars check up, bam, the accident happens. But you almost can't see sometimes out of the corner either. So it can be a very tricky spot here. But most of those cars coming in to get damage fixed. Jordan Owens, Kyle Ether also on pit road. J.W. Miller, Schlosser, a few cars. But most, actually all the leaders stay out here. All right, so while we're under caution, let me go ahead and throw the announcement out there that I've been wanting to present. And this actually involves one of our drivers, so to say. I've been kind of ho-hum on this, but I wanted to make sure everything was all kind of set in stone before I do this. But coming up in 2 weeks, on the 21st, which is a Thursday, I'm actually going to be moving. I'm going to be leaving the state of Georgia. And this is a great move for me and the family. Because unfortunately I've had some ups and downs in this state, and it's been, I hate to say, a lot more downs because of just struggles at work and that kind of thing. But going to be kind of going back home, if you will. And what I mean by that is I spent 3 years from 2010 to 2012 in Indiana, and spent time in Lafayette doing radio there, spent time in Kokomo doing radio there, and got to visit another city an awful lot because there's a really good friend of mine up there that has kind of kept me in radio and stuff at times, and who knows, this might be a chance for me to jump back into it eventually. But going to be transferring up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to continue with the FedEx company I work for and stuff. So going to be moving up there. So when we do the broadcast from Watkins Glen, hopefully everything works out, we'll be up there broadcasting. So let's just hope everything goes smooth. So, and why I brought up another driver is because Tyler Bird lives in Fort Wayne, believe it or not. So might have to call him to recruit him to help me move. We'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, so there you go. That's kind of where I've been kind of quiet and said I had something to share, and there it is. Moving to another state. Again, it'll be my second trip. Oh, hold on there, Heller. Spinning the tires a little bit there as we go back green. What in the world just happened? I just literally fell out of the room. All right, give me a second here. I just literally fell out of the race. I don't know what that was about. I make the announcement and that happens? Really? My stream's still going, right? All right, stream's still going. That's good. All right, give me a minute here. I'm going back in. That was very odd. Like, literally went green and bam, it was gone. I wonder, did anybody else fall out? I wonder, Brantley, do you know? Already connected to the session, it says. It does. I don't have a window down there. It says I'm connected. I'm definitely not connected to the session. Let me do this real quick. Let me just go into a test session real quick and get out. Thankfully, my computer's pretty daggum quick. Yeah, I literally have no screen at the bottom. You know, I might have to go in and do a... All right, here, it's letting me into the test session, so I must have left, which is good. Let me get that to close so I can get back in the race. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Appreciate everybody joining us. Stay with me. Hang out. Let's talk. If you want to just chat for a minute, we can. Brantley can maybe give us some play-by-play over there on the side and chat if you want. Brantley, my in-race reporter over there. We have lost a truck. Kind of like Gateway. Yellow's out. Hey, there we go. We didn't miss anything. All right, so there's my test session. It works. So I should be able to go into the room now. The only problem with this now is with it leaving the room, it's going to throw my caution numbers way off whack because it goes with the session and stuff. So just be warned of that in advance. So they're under a second caution, it sounds like, involving insert name here and insert name here, or maybe just one person. This reminds... Oh, 72 in Locklear again. Uh-oh. Was there any intent in there by chance? Locklear was a lap down, yeah, because he was in that wreck, and then 72 obviously got into the Kyle Hall to start the wreck. Most cars pitting. Expect that. 85% fuel should be pretty close to what would be the window for pits. All right, we're in the room. Paints should load all up here and should be good to... Come on. There we go. All right, so lap 32, you see it says first caution up there, so obviously it's going to be the second caution now, so we're going to have to kind of deal with that now for a little bit. You guys just let me know that you got race sound and stuff, please, if you could do that. So the only thing I can say, unfortunately, is I do not know who came to pit road there, because in my telemetry, it literally is like a brand new race. So, like, I have no pit road times and stuff like that, so just FYI. But... '77 first car on new tires. I wonder who called him to pit road. So that would be the 12th place car. So, and I remember Dalton obviously pitted for tires, or he might have pitted for tires. He was in the wreck. So, all right. So that would say the first probably 8 or 9 cars will be the first on tires. As we'll come to the green flag here at lap number 33. Track temps dropped to 84 degrees. All right, so Heller, Weeks, James Silvers, Brad Delft, Tim Abril, your top 5, and then Barkuski, Owen Schlosser, Leo, and Cassidy, your top 10. Of course, Leo got through it, but Cassidy and Dalton Wilson, who's 11th, were just involved in that first caution. So we'll see what kind of damage they have to their cars and if it's affecting it, as otherwise Heller's going to lead them back to the restart here. Remember, the restart zone no longer in play here. It now is on the leader to go. As here we go, back to it. Oh, those on fresh tires are going to be a little patient here because they are going to be rocket ships. Oh, 53 getting sideways, and now the 98 slams into the 69. Somehow they save it. That 98 destroyed the right side of his car with that. There's the 400 looking low on Barkuski. Action everywhere. Oh, hold on there. Mark Whitley with a save. Holy cow. When you make a save at Dover and there's smoke involved, it is a great save. Mark had his hands and feet on the wheel there. And there, of course, there's the sarcasm. Let's see if I can find that. Whitley goes into turn one, with Brantley probably driving with him. That had to have been lap 35 or 36 that just happened. I might have missed it when I was trying to find him. Unfortunately, it does not show me saves in the highlights. I literally have to go find it. Thank you, Zach. So it was not here. He said lap 35. Let's go up here and click on Mark. I'm terrible at finding replays. Oh, there's the door. Wow, that was a lick right there. How did that not destroy the Leo car? It was after that, so it has to be this lap right here. As Schlosser has now gone to lead over Heller, so we'll show you the replay of the lead change here in a second. Right here. Yikes! I mean... that is literally my definition of hands and feet on the wheel. Swatting flies, whatever you want to say. Justin Ray making an unscheduled pit stop. And here's the pass for the lead just now. As Schlosser gets to the inside of Heller, of course, the fresher tires coming to the front. Jordan Owen's going to take second, but I promise you that Mark Whitley will take second by now. And now to the lead goes the 77 with a probably pretty hot right rear tire now. Jordan Owens is second. Heller falls back to fourth. And here comes Miles diving in there on Weeks. And trouble front straightaway. One car spun around. I think, is that Carson George? It is Carson George in the Nintendo Switch car. No caution. I'm not sure how you spin at Dover and not bring out a caution. What race was I doing a couple weeks ago where somebody spun in the middle of the track and no caution come out? I was like, wait, what? First time I've ever had to say that on the stream. Oh, right there. Oh, wow. And he slams the answer. I guess because he kept it down. But Barkowski got the wall, too. Interesting. As we stay green, though. Let's go back here as Burden, J.W. Miller in the 6. That 25 of Barkuski, as I mentioned, at Pontiac, running back near the 20th position right now. As recorder distance in. Oh, Weeks and Silvers with a save. Weeks obviously not going to be too... Oh, no, he gets turned! And Weeks said he was pitting, apparently, and just got ran over. Caution is out, and... And now the winner from just a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, with a damage, Mountain Dew car. Let's see what happens here. Barkuski straight up owned it, said, hey, it was my fault. You know, let's see. So the 11's down there at the bottom. The only thing I'm going to say to this, now Weeks obviously is a fantastic driver. Brad Delph getting damaged in that too. So he's a lot more talented than I am in things. I wonder, though, if he regrets not being further down. But we can obviously add that as a factor of that pit road. So Heller and others on pit road here as they're going to get their set of tires. Actually, there's not really much being said other than Weeks obviously repeated pitting again. But then Barkuski apologized. And now what's being said in chats? I don't know. What I am going to do, though, I don't usually do this, but let me take a peek at something. Weeks did put in chat that he's pitting in. And then, unfortunately, Schlosser's taking his car behind the wall. So, now, I did not hear Weeks over the audio. I will say that. The first time. He did put it in chat, though, that he was pitting. So, I don't know. Unfortunate circumstances there. But we do have cars on pit road, and Mark Whitley leading this race. As the third caution is out. Don't mind the caution number up there. This is going to give me an opportunity. You know what? I'm going to keep the chat going here, but keep the race going. I'm going to just step away here for a second. You're not going to hear anything out of me. But I'm going to just step away real quick, just get a drink real quick. I'll be right back. How many times can I say real quick in one sentence? Real quick! All right. Back we are, drinks in hand. So Zach Henry, as you see tonight, is not here. Obviously, I should bring that up as he is the points leader in this race. Zach Had to take a provisional in this race tonight. Unfortunate deal there for the points leader. He'll get last place points, but unfortunately will probably lose the points lead at the end of tonight's race. Cody McCorkle making his season debut here tonight, so good to see the two back out there. He's in 19th right now. And I will have to check if Matthew Weeks is led tonight. Then Weeks has led now his 12th consecutive All-American race. Just a couple little nuggets there for you. As we come back to green here tonight, this is your opportunity to grab your volume button and turn it up as we go green. Oh, cars hitting the wall everywhere. Look out. Yeah, does that not give you like an old school NASCAR sound right there, them old cars? That was awesome, right? Shout out to Track Cams 4 Gourmet for those awesome cameras. Not many people, and I don't have trust me, I'm not one that disses streamers and stuff like that, because a lot of people do a great job broadcasting different leagues in different places. But I will say not many of them do a turn it up segment like that, or crank it up, whatever you want to call it. So, proud to say I'm one of them. As you watch Heller make the move inside of Kyle Ethier for the 4th position there. That's the freshest tires right now in the field. Now if only we can get the Morgan McClure muffler sounds at the super speedways, right? James Silvers making the pass on Jackson Van Pelt for position. That's for 9th. And this is my point too, and I've had this discussion with a couple people about these cars. They have got the gearing way, way too high for these cars. And what I mean by that is we should not be, again, pegging 9,000 or 9,500 and 10,000 almost into turn 1 or turn 3 here at Dover and that kind of thing. And I think that affects the sound of the cars, because I think if you can get the gears lower like we've got them here tonight, these cars sound so genuine then. on board with Lewis in that 111 car chasing the 98. Yeah, they're barely hitting 9,000 RPM. As he's under attack, there's Silver's going by for 8th. And, oh, no, 98 hard into the wall, and he gets hit to Lewis. This might be the big Dover wreck. Oh, and Dalton Wilson clobbers, and then Leo clobbers in. Hell, welcome to Dover. This is a Dover wreck. Yikes. That ended with Chris Lewis on his lid. That right there was shades of, I mean, how many wrecks can I think of here? Right? The 2003 or 4 with Jeremy Mayfield, I think it was. And the whole field went through except like, or got involved except like Casey Kane and a few others. And then you had the wreck with Tony Stewart and Elliott Sadler. As Whitley going to come to pit road here. Man, there's strategies everywhere. Again, you have a track that is 9 degrees of banking on a straightaway, so it makes it a self-cleaner. You got corners, you come up out of them, so you cannot see down the back straightaway. Plus, you're going all of 170 miles an hour. It's a product for disaster. Add J.W. Miller to the list. Add... Poor Lewis. So let's do this here. I don't usually get a chance to pull an opportunity. So Dalton Wilson is the one who hit Lewis coming down the straightaway. I want to see if I can time this out to where Lewis wrecks. Or where, I'm sorry, the 90, the, oh gosh, losing my head here. Nicholson when he wrecks. So there's the contact. Bam, and on wrecking. All right, so we're going to stop right there. So where's Dalton Wilson? What can Dalton Wilson hardly see right here? The wreck itself, right? So as they're wrecking now, he's slowing up, he's slowing up, he's slowing up, slowing up, still slowing up. Oh, there's a car there. Oh, and he gets hit. So let's, Kyle Hall, let's go on board with him here. Watch this. I mean, he's back here with J.W. Miller. And Leo. There's the wreck. They're slowing up. He actually did a good job. So Mark Whitley going to be the first one to pit. And he will be the first one on tires in 15th. So I'm showing 4 cars that have not gone to pit road since I returned to the race. And I say that because, well, it hasn't showed them as a pit stop yet. So those cars are Casey Carrington, Kyle Ethier, Stephen Miles, and Tyler Burden. Heller took the top side. Now, for those who watch my other broadcast of other series, I think I say this almost once a race now. I can almost get this sponsored, maybe. But if you spin the tires, you're going to go to the right. And I'm sure Carrington, of all people, will know this. So will Miles and others here. So let's see how this restart goes. Lap 70 in the books. Good restart down to turn 1. Carrington gets a pretty good run there on the bottom here, as Heller should be able to clear topside though. I think they're, yeah. There we go. I was going to say, I think they were trying almost like a teamwork pit stop or restart there, as Carrington was trying to give Heller the lead, but Ethier's going to take advantage in that 60 car and go to second here. And Tim Averill having some, he's going to need some blinker fluid. Topside, there's McCorkle. As Averill goes to second, Ethier shuts the door on McCorkle. This is where you're seeing the tire difference in these cars. You see Whitley back there, Jackson Van Pelt, the 49, back up into the picture here. That is Sean Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, if you will. Brad Delph, who was involved in a couple accidents here. You got a little bit of a punched-in nose on that Snap Fitness car. Oh, getting a little loose there. By the way, Josh Dillon, as we see him in chat talking to us tonight, decided to go to a wedding tonight. And is literally doing the Allstate commercial impersonation, where he's watching this race while the wedding or reception or whatever's going on. So just do this. Oh, Carrington got the wall a little bit. Josh, do not fall over and ruin the cake. I'm pretty sure that the bride and groom, congrats to them by the way, will be pretty pissed off, to be honest with you, that you ruined a cake for a video game or sim broadcast. Just putting that out there to you, buddy. On board with Carrington as he races with Kyle Ethier. These guys pretty much on even tires. As we jump ahead, Whitley, that's the fresh tires, going by Silvers for position. I think there was some contact between, oh, wow, and Barkuski getting together. I think Ethier and Carrington got together. And that has bunched this field back up back here. So Barkuski with that little bit of right front damage on that car. And now we get to that point of the race, by the way, as we're going here. We're, what, 4 cautions in, I'm sorry. No Striscala time, basically. Now, obviously, last week, or 2 weeks ago when we last raced, I was nowhere close on the time, and I kind of knew I wouldn't be. I just kind of threw the average number of the 2 races was my prediction in the end. So, this is the 3rd race now Of course, this being season 6, every other season running here at the Dover Motor Speedway. And in the 2 other occasions, we've had 13 and 11 cautions respectively. So we're doing a good job staying lower on that number right now. Of course, that could obviously change, as I think McCorkle's having blinking issues now. Somebody's badly, or is it April? Somebody's having blinking issues back here. It is April. Right now, we're just about to halfway. We're only at about 5 cautions, so we're on pace for 10. As Whitley going to go to the front as he passes Heller. Lap 84. And Abril has pulled down, by the way. Let McCorkle and Silvers go by as he tries to get his internet going. Seeing what's going on there. Unfortunate for the 3 right now. So October 15th, 2021, this race actually did not make it to 200 laps. It ran out of time in the race. We got all of 2 hours and 1 minute in that race. And that was in season 2. And that race had 13 cautions. And then September 23rd last year, 11 cautions. And we made it by all of 2.5 minutes to the time of 1 hour, 57 minutes in the 200 laps here at Dover. Now, obviously, I do not have an official timer in front of me or anything like that, but if we do the average time of the race, that means that this race should go somewhere in the 1 hour, 59 minute mark, which would put us right up against 2 hours. But at this pace right now, and if I use the Larry McScala trends, we've had some late cautions this season so far in this series. We've had some green flag racing like we have right now. So I'm going to go out and say that tonight's race will be somewhere in the 1 hour, 49 minute range. So there's my official prediction tonight. An hour 49, you know we average an hour 59. Let's go back here. As Jordan Owens, Cody McCorkle, they have gone by Tim Abril. Owens having a great run there in the 4th position. And look at Owens. He's got those fresh tires, been patient with them. And he takes the 3rd position away from Silvers as the 6 of J.W. Miller's on pit road. iRacing not having a good night so far. Leo Lewis behind the wall. Miller trying to work his way up there. You do got Miles and Kyle Ethier having halfway decent runs here so far. Miles actually up in 14th right now. Go back here to 12th. It was mentioned in chat by Mr. Zach Stefanowski that Terry Freer had worked his way back to the lead lap. Not only that, but don't Freer the Reaper. The 46 is up to 12th. Yes, I just did a BOC reference. As he holds off Tyler Burden right now in this fight. Stephen Miles there behind him. Weeks also coming on the fresher tires, I think, back there. And also probably driving with some anger as he goes inside and Miles lets him go. And Tyler Burden just called himself to pit road here. So let's see. Let's watch Burden come to pit road. He's going to come in shallow. He better slow down. Because that car, that's exactly what I thought would happen. Slide up the track. Actually, a pretty good job entering pit road, I would say. So green flag pit stops, and these are all the cars that have the oldest tires. They're now coming to pit road. So we've got about 2 or 3 different strategies. As Casey Carrington going to come to pit road. Kyle Ethier also going to come in right there behind him. There's Stephen Miles on pit road. So I didn't get a chance to show you guys. There's a trick actually at this track that you can do, depending on how forgiving your league is when it comes to staying to the right on pit road. I am not a fan of driving through 100 pit stalls to get to your pit box. Let me state by that. But however, you notice up there at the top of the track, there's a bend in pit road. So like in an NIS race, yes, you will see me run pretty much down almost to the wall coming on the pit road there to get the shortest amount of distance on pit road. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys. 14.3 for Ethier, 15.1 for Miller, 14.8 for Carrington. So these guys need this race to stay green now. Silver's running 4th right now, trying to hold off Abril, who looks like he's got his connection fixed, so looking pretty solid down in that 3 car now. As Torello on pit road now in the 81 car. Last season here at Dover, it was David Tooker going to victory lane. He and Cutlip going 1-2 for the team formerly known as Mountain Man Motorsports. Did 153 laps in that race last year. Obviously, neither of those guys are here. And then back in that season 2 race, it was... I didn't bring up the race. Maybe click on the date. John Eckert, one of his 1,000 wins that he's got in this series. I say that jokingly because he won a lot of races those first 2 years, or first 2 seasons in the series. As we come to halfway, still got plenty of racing, plenty of things can happen. As Whitley continues to lead this race, 3.1 seconds over Christopher Heller, Jordan Owens, John Silvers, Cody McCorkle, your top 5. Of course, Whitley, the Nashville winner. And what is the common thread between Nashville and Dover? Anybody? Outside of, yes, they're owned by the same people now. That answer would be, I'll give you a second. Concrete tracks. There's Barkuski in the 8th position there, chasing the 49. As Terry Freer comes to pit road at lap 103. So if you go 55 laps on a tank of fuel, which is the projected amount, obviously it's a one-stopper from here as Brad Delph comes to pit road in the 14. So far, I've not spotted anyone missing pit road, which is good. Craig Barton going to come to pit road in the 22. As, boy, Whitley's driving that car hard. So the first car on new tires right now is Tim Abril, who just came to pit road about 7 laps ago. And Carrington's actually behind Abril now. Tyler Burden would be 3rd in line than Miles. And that's just in the order of those who have come to pit road. There's obviously cars in between here throughout. And again, everybody coming to pit road needs this race to stay green. Here comes Heller to pit road. Now, right there, you saw how he kind of worked his way over a little bit to the inside. Shorten up that corner a little bit. .35 creeping miles an hour down pit road here. And the first pit stall, and this actually allows me to show you one other thing about this track that separates itself from others, is the exit of pit road. Look at the green cone down there where his name is. Usually pit road ends at most tracks on iRacing where that white line is, right in front of the nose of Heller's car. However, you got to stay at 35 until you get to that second line coming off pit road. This is one of those tracks where it seems like every race, somebody speeds on pit road in that last spot. So now that Heller's pitted, when does Whitley come to pit road here? When does Owens come in? How about Silvers? It's a balance between holding on to the lead here with the tires and not allowing the others to undercut and literally get too far away. There's Heller right there, going to unlap himself, and when I say unlap, get one of his 2 laps back now, as he just ran the fastest lap of the race at 23 flat. How about this guy here, 62 car? I don't think this is his debut in the series. I honestly don't remember saying his name, but he might have been around. Thomas Stanley in the 62. I guess I could always look at the stats and find it if he's raced here. He has raced here. He's raced in all 3 races, Scala. Wake the heck up. Good grief. Stanley's been in all 3 races. But he's having a good quiet run here. In the 9th position. Yeah, he's a lap down, but he's holding on. As Barkowski, McCorkle come to pit road. So we got about 6 cars that have not been to pit road yet. John Cassidy now to pit road as he gives up 5th. And this here is going to be a battle for 9th right now, but eventually could be a battle in the top 5 as that Pontiac of Christopher Heller blows by Carrington for the position. And that is 13 lap difference in tires right there. As James Silvers brings the Jack Daniels Chevy to pit road. Jordan Owens coming to pit road, so pretty much now leaving Mark Whitley is the only car to come to pit road. Not only that, he's the only car in the lead lap now, so I mean, this is no man's land for the whole entire field now officially. More tires and fuel. You see Silver's pulling away. Good stop, 14-4 for him as Owens is in now. The old Geek Squad, number 20. I'm sure Mark and his car owner or whatever his official position is, Brantley Roden there, who's been in chat with us, kind of debating, hey, when should we come to pit road? What do you think? But he pitted at lap 67. And I should say, by the way, Dalton Wilson, who's in second, has not pitted yet. And here comes Mark right now. So to 77 on pit road. And this is going to be the balance now. How much does Whitley lose being the last one to come to pit road here? Let's actually throw the track map up. I usually do those during pit stops, but didn't think about it just now. All right, so Wilson's going to go by right now. He's in the 33 car there on the front straightaway. We're looking for the 3 of Tim Abril. He just went by. Heller is somewhere in those numbers. But Burden has gone by. Miles has gone by. So Whitley is going to lose roughly 12 seconds to Christopher Heller, but is about to be the fastest car on the track by a little bit. So the question now is, can he make up the 12 seconds, and how fast can he do it? As Heller just went by Wilson for the lead, so it's always that, it's that game of cat and mouse now. It's that game of short pitting versus having the freshest tires versus do you want a caution or not? Whole lot of games here. Still got a one-stop race pretty much for everybody as Whitley goes by Miles. We'll do some lap time comparison here. Matter of fact, I'll throw it over there on the side of the ticker there so you can see lap times as they go. As Dalton Wilson comes to pit road in the 33 car. Whitley a 23.34 that time by. Heller a 76, so that's 0.4 of a second. Everybody else kind of around him in the 24s. McCorkle with a good 23.56, a 17 for Owens. That was a good lap for him. As Carrington going to let him go by for fourth. And it's down to 8.3 seconds now. Let's go back here. Jordan Owens making a pass on Matthew Weeks for position. Weeks pitted at lap 100, so he is not desperately, but he's on older tires here with, of course, the unfortunate caution that happened. A couple cautions he's been involved in. That streak for leading laps, unfortunately, might be on the line. But I'm sure for him right now, it's more being able to get that points lead and keep that momentum going on his side. Let's go back here. Battle shaping up for 6th and 5th, I should say. As there's your Dodge teammates of McCorkle and Casey Carrington, the CX Squared boys, and you see Tyler Burden about 1.7 seconds back. McCorkle's going to go by. Now you see Burden back there getting passed by Jordan Owens. So a lot of the strategy coming in. Now we're starting to see passes for position. And should be still a one-stop race for everybody here. I would expect everyone to go as far as they can on the fuel before coming to pit road. Now the question would be, do you try the 2 tires? I don't, but you never know. As Silvers went past Miles there for 9th, by the way. Whitley up to 2nd now as he is 4 seconds back. Make that 3.9 as he's got a little bit of traffic to go through now. Oh, almost some contact with Terrell and Dalton. And Whitley's just got to be patient here. As Miller's going to come to pit road. Oh, that's another way you can get around these cars. Go to the top. Go where they ain't passing 3 of them at once. Once, twice, 3 times a pass. As Silvers to the inside for 8th. Passes Burden. Miller, I'm a little worried about this strategy with J.W. Miller because I think he's going to be short and they're going to have to pit another time. Where the rest of these guys are one stop the rest of the way. Awkward moment just happened next to me as I meant to mention about moving earlier. I have some toys of my daughter's in a box to my right, and one of them just went off, like saying noises, and I'm like looking over at it like, awkward. As McCorkle working inside of Delft. Owens has caught them both here. As that is a battle for position. So on lap 119 was when Mark Whitley went to pit road. And here we are 17 laps later. And the 77 has caught the 8. Both of them running right down there on that white line. Or it's not really a white line, it's more of a clear line because it's just the separation of the asphalt and the concrete. As Whitley going to make the pass on the 8 and go back to the front here, lap 137. While we have an opportunity in time here, let's take a look at the schedule, or not. Give me a second, I will get the schedule. Thought I had it. My producer is fired. I will get you a schedule next week. So, let's act like we got it. Next week we go to Michigan, by the way, for the Michigan 200 before we go to Watkins Glen on the 22nd. Then it's Charlotte on the 29th, and we get the third running of the Brickyard 200 to kick off the month of August, or 10th month, yeah, October. August. What? You know what it is? The Brickyard, we always knew it as the first race in August. That or Pocono. That's why I said that. So Brad Delft there in the 6th position right now. Obviously this race has taken on the green flag look now after the 5th caution. Been green for a little bit now. Playing a role in strategy, and I think those on the newer tires at this green, it's kind of set up for them right now to take advantage here, but obviously anything can happen. With it's 58 laps now, 57 laps to go next time by, as you see Barkuski and Weeks battle for 10th. As the 25-11 team goes by, with the 25 passing the 11. Appreciate all the viewers watching here tonight. If you get a chance, hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you're not new to the channel, we appreciate you coming back. And should remind you that coming up after this race, if you'd like, hang out on the YouTube page, because I'm going to be up and running right after I end this broadcast with another stream, but this time, me racing in another series in a truck. At Daytona. It'll be the first race of the playoffs in that specific series, so you can come cheer me on. I actually made it in because I won the last race. Woohoo! Some say I wrecked the field, but hey, I tried. Not to, but tried to win. Battle for third as Owens has caught Tim Averill. That's a comfortable feeling. As Jordan makes the pass. As Tyler Burden comes to pit road, locks it down. Good job. So 36 coming down. Casey Carrington going to come to pit road, and I heard Stephen Miles, I believe, say he's coming to pit road. As we hit the three-quarter distance in this race. It has been a long week. Let me just put that out there. For those who are like just dreadfully tired right now after a wild week of work, I am right there on that island with you. It even gets to a point where sometimes I just feel like I'm rambling as I talk. Carrington, Miles, both of them on pit road. Jordan Owens, Tim Averill on pit road now. This is at lap 151. This is going to be a little tricky here because Averill started behind Owens. At least I thought. Never mind. I misread that. There goes Craig Martin leaving the pits here. Should see Owen here in a second. There he goes. Averill should be gone. Both of them good stops. 14.9 for Averill, 14.8 for Owens, 14.7 for Craig Martin. Of course, you can see all those times down at the bottom of your screen. Thomas Stanley on pit road. Actually, Stanley's been there for a minute, so unfortunately for him. As Terrell almost gets in the outside wall. Here comes Jackson Van Pelt. Believe he's got some fresher tires. As here comes Brad Delph on pit road. Jonathan Smith coming to pit road. Matthew Weeks on pit road. Terry Freer is in. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys. Tires and fuel. The 11 pulls away, and now Nick Terrell, as I mentioned, is on pit road there in the 81 car, having a great... All right, somebody's been watching my stream. Let's back this one up a little bit. What do y'all think, huh? Gets in there shallow. Runs it right down on the boxes. Four tires and fuel, and he pulls away. It's kind of weird when you see those kind of things. Like, I've streamed so much now in the last, 10 years I've been on, 11 years I've been on iRacing, but it's been on and off broadcasting. Last 3 years been streaming. It's like you learn to adapt to see who watches the streams when they're racing and who's not. And some people, like a guy named Matt Telder, who's probably watching, will actually message chat while he's on the track. Don't ask how he does it, but he explains some things too. As Heller locks it down. And the Ghost Pontiac comes to pit road here at 160. Let's see if this brings Whitley immediately to pit road or not. There goes Whitley behind the left-hand side. Heller 14.8 second stop as he pulls away. So it's going off the numbers. If we're doing 55 laps on a tank, Whitley pitted at 119. That would put him to lap 120 or 174. I'm sorry, 174, 175, somewhere in that range before he could technically come to pit road. But obviously, depending on when Heller just came to pit road, that could change a little bit here. Nicholson on pit road. Unfortunate break for him earlier, getting involved in a couple accidents. You see the 8, 2 cars ahead there of the leader, just unlapped himself and now is 1 lap down. As McCorkle and Barkuski come to pit road. according to my numbers, it looks like 4 cars left to pit. Silver's calling himself to pit road right now in the 17. He actually apologized to Chris for almost pushing him up the track there. He gets wide here. Uh-oh, somebody always does it. There's your guy. At least Silvers did not pull him at Kenseth. There's one person every time that misses that pit road. It had just happened. As Whitley comes to pit road. With 31 laps to go, Whitley in. Now in an awkward change of events here, Silvers is now stayed out. And leads this race. So my guess is now with Whitley making the pit stop, he's decided, hey, you know what? I'm leading this race now. Dudes, oh, one car smacked the wall back there. I think that was the 60 of Ethier. Yeah, he's up in the outside wall here. I think he's got the wall again. Who sparks on my camera? As Heller goes by Owens for second. Ethier now on pit road, so unfortunately, yeah, now it's down to Stephen Miles there in ninth as the one weapon for TI. And their points lead likely in the team side. Going to go bye-bye tonight. So Silver's deciding to go about an extra 5 laps, and let's see, attempt number 2 at coming to pit road. Yeah, I thought he was too hot again, but he did it. And that'll hand the lead to Christopher Heller, who will have 2.1 seconds. And actually more now as Owens falls back behind the 49 car. Back to Jordan Owens. Did you decide to park it after that, Tom? This is when you know somebody's watching the chat, because I mention his name and he shows up. And what he means by daddy's here is he's probably... Never mind, I can't go there. It's a family show. So it's about 4 seconds back as Whitley now goes to the inside of Owens. About a 9-lap difference on tires here. And the question obviously is, did Heller go into any kind of tire saving mode, and did Whitley go into any tire aggression mode or anything like that to see maybe potentially if Heller could bait Whitley into burning up his tires? Oh, look at this. 4 wide at Dover, boys. Yo! How in the heck did they just do that? And the more impressive part is nobody said a word in chat just now. Nobody said a word. That just happened and like nothing said. Yeah, I want to see somebody try that one again. .6 seconds to separation now. I need to just start clicking the camera again. Find moments like that. That was amazing. I have to go find that again. Let's get a replay of that. It was somewhere right in here. So you've got newer tires of Terrell and McCorkle, older tires on Van Pelt, and the newest tires on Silvers. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. You've got chips, cereal, and an alcoholic drink, all going 4 wide there with a Dodge. And for the lead, there goes Whitley by with 20 to go. Somebody yelled, please, somebody wreck now. They tried already. As Weeks goes a lap down, unfortunately. Let's jump back here to 16th. Good battle right in front of the leaders here to 72. Jonathan Smith there trying to hold off Sean Cassidy. And there's Van Pelt tagging the wall a little bit. Good job by the lap cars jumping out of the way there, letting Whitley go through. So Mark looking. Oh, contact! I thought they were about to wreck. Again, they save it. So unless something weird happens like that, Whitley on his way to potential back-to-back wins. And that has got me doing some thinking. Let me go look at something. The last time we had back-to-back winners was actually earlier this season in March, as Tooker actually won at Nashville Fairgrounds and Sonoma. The last time we have had back-to-back winners in a race by one guy. So Whitley looking to add his name to be the second guy this season. As a matter of fact, let's go back to Season 3. In the last 2 years, so Season 3 is the beginning of 2022, there have only been 2 guys to do back-to-back wins the whole entire time. And that's David Tooker and Zach Rogers. I would bring in Season 1 and Season 2, but for the most part, only one guy won those seasons. And that being John Eckert. Not to want to disrespect him or anything like that for saying that. I mean, obviously he went out and earned back-to-back wins at times and things like that. But here, since obviously the field is kind of evened out a little bit more, you know, we've had only twice has it happened, or I'm sorry, 3 times has it happened by 2 guys. And Brantley, or Will, I keep calling Mark Brantley. Mark Whitley might become the 3rd guy to do it. And I'm not going to be the guy that calls Whitley Chase Elliott, but you go back to 2022, Chase Elliott won it Nashville and Dover. It's about our closest battles right here. 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Tim Averill is up by about 0.7 of a second. Brad Delph there behind him. Casey Carrington about a second back. And let's throw in teammate Cody McCorkle there behind him by about a second or so. So about 4 cars here separated out by 4 seconds. As we hit 9 laps to go. Race that started out with a little bit of a green flag run and saw a few cautions kind of sprinkled out there after lap 20. We got to the 5th caution and everything's been clean and green from there. However, I brought up the trends just a minute ago. 2 of the first 3 races this season have gone to overtime. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, Brantley. Just bringing the facts. The one race, though, that did not go to overtime was the race last 2 weeks ago at Nashville. Averill and Jordan Owens, this is for 3rd. That's going to bring Brad Delph in here. We're going to have a 3-car battle here for 3rd here in a second. What a comeback there for Brad, by the way. Involved in that accident with Matthew Weeks coming to pit road. Had that big dent in his nose. He's got it popped back out. And now has a chance to get a top 3 finish here as Averill goes around Jordan Owens now for that 3rd position. As we'll see 3 laps to go next time by for Whitley. Owens trying to hold off Delph there as Delph crosses him over. Almost some contact there with each other. I think Owens might have got the wall. That brings Carrington into the picture and McCorkle. This battle far from over. Averill starts to drive away as Whitley crosses the line. 2 laps to go. Oh, into the wall goes McCorkle. 3 wide for 4th, down to 1. As the white flag waves, final lap for Whitley and Brantley. As these guys battle right in front, as Delph gets by. But Mark Whitley, the concrete king, shall we call him, between a week off, a win at Nashville, and now a win at Dover. As Whitley wins the Delaware 200, Heller finishing 2nd, Averill going to get 3rd. And did Delph just run out of gas? Because I noticed Owens got him by 3/100ths of a second. As Whitley's going to burn it down. And once again, that glitch coming in where all of a sudden the paint refreshes. It's kind of weird. So Whitley celebrates the win as we take a look at the final results here. I was just listening to a little bit of the discussion going on there. As 8.2 seconds, the separation there between Whitley and Heller. Averill, as I mentioned, getting third. Jordan Owens fourth. Brad Dell finishing fifth. Casey Carrington, Cody McCorkle, and Tyler Burden. Stephen Miles ends up the first car lap down in ninth. Matthew Weeks could bounce back after his pit road incident with Barkuski, ironically, 10th and 11th. Silver's finishing 12th. Terry Freer 13th. Sean Cassidy, Nick Terrell, Jonathan Smith, Jackson Van Pelt, J.W. Miller finishing in the 18th position. As 19th to Kyle Hall, Dalton Wilson 20th, Noah Nicholson 21st, Craig Martin 22nd, Kyle Ethier 23rd, Thomas Stanley 24th, Chris Lewis 25th, Nick Leo, Carolus Thiel finishing, or Corollas Thiel, I'm getting it right one of these days, 27th, Carson George 28th, 29th to Schlosser, Justin Ray, and Jacob Locklear, the 31 racers that showed up tonight for the Delaware 200. And we'll talk to our winning drivers here, our top three. Only one of them can win. But obviously Tim Averill doing a good job there, as it didn't look so good there at the beginning, as the internet was not cooperating. The racing was not cooperating, as you had to kind of be patient, get everything fixed back up, and you did a good job of that, and a good comeback to get a top three finish.
Man, yeah, I say my the internet wasn't doing too hot there at the beginning. I don't really know what was going on. My latency and ping were showing pretty good, but the quality wasn't. So during that time, I knew that I was blinking, so I was kind of just letting everybody go by and just being patient, knowing that it would come back. And once it did, it looks like it stayed pretty good after that.
And I saw Drayton down there in chat, obviously helping you guys out with a pit strategy. Talk about that a little bit, how it helped you out.
Yeah, say Cook wanted to be here in the racing seat tonight. However, he plays softball for the 436 Aerial Port Squadron out of Dover Air Force Base, and they are currently in the playoffs, chasing a championship for their squadron. So he had priorities for that, and then as soon as he got home, he rushed in here to be able to help us out a little bit. But yeah, he was in here and he was calling out lap times and where people were at and where they're pitting. So definitely big help on his part.
How cool is it to see over 100 lap green flag run there to end this race and have the multiple stops on a pit road like this? I'm sure that was a challenge.
Oh yeah, it's awesome coming to a track like this where it is short, and I mean the car is very loose and it's not that easy to drive, and be able to see these guys put out good green flag laps. I mean, I know we had a couple hiccups there at the beginning, but I mean that's expected. If you'd have told me we'd have had 100 plus green flag laps at the beginning of this race, I'd have said you're crazy. So, and then definitely having to get down there on that 35 mile an hour at road speed, that is insane. Yeah. Like the whole entire time you're on there, you're just like, geez, like this is horrible.
Well,
but
yeah, good.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying it was definitely a good race, and say kudos to all these guys for being able to keep it clean out there tonight.
And kudos to you for a good third place finish, and send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to PTP Racing and all the guys. You know, we got, like I said, Cook, Dalton, Jacob. Jacob got into some trouble there early, so he's hoping to bounce back next week. Shout out to TA3 Designs for our paints this season. Give a shout out to you for putting on these broadcasts. Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to everyone watching. So what we got? We got Meyer, Boo, Tony. Anyone else I missed? So just thanks everybody watching.
Absolutely, and always for those who don't know, Tim and Cook, those guys obviously been in the service and stuff, and obviously heard Cook obviously doing his thing in the softball team there. So appreciate what those guys do. Obviously, two of many people that do what they do for this country. So appreciate you guys as always, and we'll talk soon.
Yep, thank you for your support, and thanks again.
Absolutely, Tim Averill finishing in the third position, and hopefully Drayton hit a ball to the Speedway or something. I don't know if that's possible. But anyways.
To the moon.
Pretty much. As Averill finishes third, and the pole sitter tonight, Christopher Heller, did his part. Good consistent race for that Ghost number 8, and gets a second place finish, Chris. I know second place is not what you want. I mean, you want to win a race. But obviously with the circumstances, the way pit road or the cautions fell and that kind of thing, worked out to where, unfortunately, second best for you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is what it is. I felt like I had the fastest car tonight, but Fortunately, I'm not the best crew chief out there. Mark was the best crew chief tonight, and that's probably what won him the race.
We'll talk a little bit about the racing, obviously, because we went green the first 20 laps or so, had that caution, then we had a couple cautions kind of back to back to back, and then to be able to do, I'm trying to remember the number exactly, it's like 120 or 110 green flag laps or something like that. Obviously, pretty impressive for the league.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely a little bit wore out after that. It's been a while since we've
Yeah,
done a long run like that, and really at a tough racetrack like Dover. I pretty much took the week off to practice this racetrack because it's probably one of my worst racetracks, but I think it's turned into one of my better racetracks now that put in that practice with Zach. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it tonight, but I know Brandon's definitely helped me out a lot here as well in other cars, but man, I definitely had to practice for this one
talk a
because I
little bit
needed.
about, obviously, in real life, we know this track wears people out. You've got a track with a banking on the straightaways of 9 degrees, which, as I said earlier, is actually taller than tracks like the Milwaukee Mile, New Hampshire, that kind of thing. Then you go into corners that are the size of Charlotte, Texas, with the 24 degrees and stuff like that. So even in a sim, how much work is it?
Well, I'm standing up right now because my knees hurt, but
There you go.
but yeah, you're essentially breaking downhill kind of because
Mm,
you're driving off into a corner versus being like I guess on the same level when you turn into a corner. You're like driving into a hole,
right.
and then you're driving up out of a hole off the corner. So there's definitely an elevation change compared to other racetracks. So you got to be careful not to overshoot your entries. So I try to back them up a little bit. But after a while, when you're just going lap after lap after lap after lap, it definitely wears on you a little bit, especially when you have a load cell brake like I do. My knee's definitely feeling it right now.
Yeah, probably barking at you a little bit there. And you actually bring up a great point. And this is one of those tracks that probably one of the only tracks that you hear the term landing when people talk about how their car is running. Because, you get to these other tracks, you're not really landing at all, but you're going into a corner that falls, as they say, 2 stories of banking into a corner. So you almost have to wait, let the car land, quote unquote, on into the corner and set before you can even get back to the throttle because your car's so light coming to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's light coming off the corner because you're
Yeah.
kind of driving up out of the corner, so it's almost like you're hitting kind of a jump without hitting a jump.
Best
And
way I can think of it off the top of my head as I'm thinking about this right now is most high school or even college or NBA arenas, you walk in, at level and you go down into the seats. So think of like driving your car on that level and then going into the corner, you drive down to the track or down to where the court is, and then coming back up to the top level where you are.
yeah, exactly.
So, but hey,
That's
man,
pretty
great.
much it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying exactly where I was trying to get at.
Yeah, well, great job today, man. Send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, so I would like to thank Brandon for showing up tonight. Hopefully, he can run the rest of the season with me and Zach. Zach should be back next week, so appreciate those guys. Got to thank my mom for watching. Thank my dad if he is watching. He'll probably watch it later on. But got to thank everyone who is watching. Thank Casey for the league, and thank you for the broadcast, Chris.
Absolutely. Make sure you get a supportive sponsor too there on his car. Just saying.
Yeah, of
Go get
course
a
I will.
ghost. I'm seeing them a
Go
lot
get
more
a
in
go.
stores. Go get a ghost. So,
Yeah, some tasty stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have long weeks of work. Anyways,
Yep,
great job,
for
man.
sure.
Congratulations. And I know it's going to be a good point tonight for you.
Yeah, definitely needed after the
Yeah.
first 3 weeks.
So, great job, Chris.
Thank you.
Absolutely. He brought up a good point there again. I totally didn't think about how much he has struggled in that 2511 car. He's the champion from last season. As we joked about it 2 weeks ago about how it seems like with weeks the season before, and now Chris, it's like, oh, do not want to be the champion apparently in this league. So one thing you do want to do is be the winner each week, and Mark Whitley has done it. The Concrete King all of a sudden here, Mr. Carl Edwards 2.0, I guess. But Whitley, you go to victory lane here tonight, and I was just looking at the numbers during the end of that broadcast. You're only since the beginning of 2022, so 4 seasons ago technically now. You're only the 3rd driver in this series to go back to back.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Talk about it, man. That was pretty dominant.
Yeah, we just I ran a couple long runs in practice trying to get the hang of the car, see what it did on the long run, and found a line that worked pretty good. And that first little short run we had, I just was sitting back, just kind of riding, because I knew tires would be a big play at the end of the run. And I've run a lot of races here at Dover, and it seems like sometimes you'll get a wreck fest, and sometimes you get a long green flag run. So I was really hoping for the long green flag runs, and I think you were starting to see the tire difference there right at the end of that first. I think it was like lap 15 when the first caution came out. I was starting to catch them guys. Wasn't really pushing it. Was still kind of saving it, and then I knew, just based on watching them run and how I was catching them a little bit on that restart, I knew my tires were better. So I went really aggressive trying to get the lead real quick, and then kind of went saving. And then it was just kind of like when do you pit, when do you stay out? It was about enough tires to take tires every 40 laps. We pitted, I think, on lap like 30. So it was a little early. And so we just were off cycle. It was just like, I'd pit, then they pit the next caution. It was like, it did that a couple times. And that final time, they pitted after I did, and we ran green, and he got all the way up to my back bumper. And there was another caution, I think about 10 or 15 laps into that run. And I decided, you know what, we're just going to have to, we're going to go green at some point in this race. I just know it. Dover always has those long green flag runs in it. No matter how much of a wreck fest, there's always that one long green flag. So I was really banking on that long green flag run to come out when I pitted the second time kind of early. And thankfully it went green the rest of the way. That's kind of set us up in a good position. We had the freshest tires, able to get to the field, cautiously aggressive, as Brantley likes to put it. Got to the lead, and then was just kind of saving it, trying to get a good gap, because I knew they would have to pit before me just on fuel. And in the first part of that long green flag run, I almost went all the way till I ran out. I had about 2 or 3 more laps of gas. And that last run, I know I was able to catch them back pretty quickly. It took about 15, 20 laps to catch them back, so I wanted to make that last run a little bit shorter, just so I wouldn't have as big of a gap to go. So we cut the last little stint in half and pitted on 68, I think 168. And after that point, it was just about hitting your marks, being smooth. I knew I was going to catch them. I wanted to question if I was going to catch the leader if it went green. I knew I was, just because we were on like 8, 10 lap fresher tires, and that's just too big of a difference to really hold off. So it was just about trying to get through traffic really smooth. And once I got to them and got around them, it was just praying with every fiber of my being that there was not a caution, because I was out of tires and I knew they had one set left. So it just kind of fell on our lap the right way. Cautions didn't fall. We went green. We had the right strategy, and we just kind of walked away with it. That's how the night went. And one more caution anywhere in the race, and we could have been sitting there battling for 15th. So got to take these wins when they come, especially get a little luck with strategy like that. So I'll take it.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout-outs to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, big shout-out Brantley, Harpoon Design. He put together these awesome race cars for me, awesome paint schemes. Probably going to get him to do another new color on this one a little bit soon. Been running it for a while, but check him out at harpoondesign.com. He does awesome work. He does really quick work, and I think he's got almost 2,000 paints on Trading Paints, by the way. So got plenty to pick from over there. And another shout-out to my teammate. I know he got caught up in a lot of wrecks tonight, John Smith, but he battled back, never gave up, finished I think at the end of the race he had one of the fastest cars on track, so it'd have been nice to see him be on the lead lap and see what he could have done. But maybe next week. And final shout out to my family, friends and family tuning into these broadcasts of races. I always appreciate it. It's always nice to get a text at the end of the race knowing they watch, taking time out of their Friday night. They could be doing so many other things, and they sit here and watch a virtual race that I'm in. So I appreciate every time they tune in, and thanks to the league. Thanks to everybody not wrecking the last 120 something laps. And thank you for putting on an awesome broadcast.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, appreciate it. And great job tonight to you and Brantley and the team there on the win. And go celebrate.
Sounds good, man.
All right, buddy. Mark Whitley to victory, the winner tonight in victory lane here at the Dover Motor Speedway, who have a chance to go for the three-peat. And that'll be coming up next week from the Michigan Speedway, which will be live here on the Captain Esports Network. 100 laps of racing in Michigan, and these cars, they are going to be hauling tail. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch coming up next Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Ish. Well, might be a little before that. We'll be on the air, but ready to rock and roll at that point. So, all right, time for me to go get ready for another race. But appreciate everybody for watching here tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And appreciate Casey Carrington for allowing me to broadcast the races here now the last 2.5 seasons. And appreciate everybody for coming out to watch. Thanks for coming out tonight. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.